talk about marketing in clinical research trials. Like, when is it worth doing? What should you do? Why should you do it? That kind of thing. I'm Dr. Jeff Kingsley, and welcome to another edition of Riding in Cars with Researchers. And I'm fortunate enough to again have Dr. Senn of Senn Says. And Dr. Senn here has a marketing company and does all sorts of marketing decision-making around clinical research. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for coming up with Senn Says. Maybe you should be in marketing too.
So, there are research sites that exclusively get patients via marketing. There are research sites that exclusively get patients from their own database. There are research sites that rely on referrals from community physicians. All of these different things have different success, different conversion rates. Should you do all of them? Should you do one? Some?
I think it would depend on what your trial is for and how you're going to get people. I have seen that oncology research, you're going to do better if you're right there in the clinic and it's the oncologist talking to the patient directly or the case managers. For other things like a healthy vaccine trial, I think it would almost entirely be advertising because you're trying to get someone who might not come to the doctor.
That's a great point. I've made similar examples over the years. You know, pediatrics is one of my frequent examples. To be successful with pediatric research, you have to have a bought-in pediatrician.
Right.
Because mom and dad already know and trust that pediatrician. They're not going to put their kid into a pediatrics trial based upon an advertisement. I mean, it's just... And so you're right. There are certain areas where certain techniques would be more or less successful. The hardest thing we do is put patients in trials. And that's why I was just on a call an hour ago with one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world about a trial that we're doing. And I said to them, we'll pull every lever we possibly can to help get patients into trials. We'll do database calls and referrals and advertisements and because finding patients is the hardest part of doing research.
It definitely is. And what I see when we cold call patients is, well, I shouldn't say cold call, they're part of a database, but we're calling them without seeing them in the office first. The calls end up, you know, a lot of times they don't work out, but a lot of times they do because people have a need and we just help meet their need. They have been looking for a new treatment option or a new alternative or something for even not themselves but a family member. And so trying to reach out to people in as many ways as possible is often a great thing, especially even billboards. Even if you don't get a patient that way, it can give you name recognition.
There's research data that proves this, certainly coming out of Tufts University Center for the Study of Drug Development. The number one, the best conversion rate there is your doctor referring you into a research trial. If you have breast cancer and your oncologist says, hey, this is a trial I think you should consider, it has the best conversion rate. And then conversion rates go down from there. And you talked about cold calling. I mean, if you're just contacting an open market or you're just putting up a billboard, then that's likely the coldest market there is, and there would be a lower conversion rate. What are your thoughts? Like, what's the hierarchy there? If we assume that a doctor referring you is like the best, then what? Calling your database and then...
It's quite the jump, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I started in pediatric oncology, and when your child has a diagnosis, so you're talking about pediatricians, right? And now you're adding oncology to it. Your child has a diagnosis. There's no way you can understand that diagnosis in a reasonable amount of time. You are relying so much on your physician at that point, and you're really in their very capable hands, and you feel that. From there, you're just not going to be as coddled. You might have been trying to deal with something on your own, or it's not such a life and death or a serious matter as that, and you maybe don't have your own desire to do it. You know, like, it's not bad enough that I care, or this medicine is okay already. from there, it would be, I would think, word of mouth, which you might ask me then how to market for word of mouth.
Right, sure, friend-to-friend referrals.
Right. But, IACT Health does such an amazing job of giving such great customer service that people talk about the great customer service and the great treatments they got, care, not necessarily talking about the medicine, but they talk about that, and we get a lot that way.
So, old-fashioned marketing. Had a low conversion rate. So my question is going to be around what things can you do to improve the conversion rate? So old-fashioned marketing, you put up a billboard, it's being seen by anybody that drives down that road. People who may or may not have the disease that you're talking about, that your research is about, may or may not care, may or may not go to doctors. With television advertising, way back when people used to do television advertising, it was about eyeballs, right? And internet campaigns were about eyeballs. How many eyeballs did you see? How many click-throughs did you get? But now we've got things like geofencing, and we pay a lot of attention to being able to do marketing where we're targeting the ads to a very specific audience in terms of what we say, as well as with social media and things like that. Is that worth it? Is it worth the spend to be able to target those audiences?
I definitely think it's worth the spend to target the audiences because it is eyeballs, right? It's eyeballs on a screen. And I guess what I would say is I would take the gestalt of all of the marketing. If people see the billboard and they see a name of your clinic, then they hear the word of mouth through someone else because you gave great customer service. I mean, you want the best marketing, have great customer service at your clinic. That's going to be one of the best things you can do for yourself, and that is free. Beyond that, yes, the digital ads, then people start putting together, oh, I saw that billboard somewhere, or oh, my friend mentioned that. Also, you can do some search words as well, so that so search engine optimization on your website or on your ads and posts, so that you could end up being found when people are at home looking for, wow, I just found out that I have acid reflux and I don't know what to do about it, and you start looking for acid reflux and then your town, I don't know, then
Sure.
Some research might come up for that. So I try to hit it from all angles. Public relations also. There's something to be said for a clinic being interviewed by news stations, because that is free, but it's also helpful and educational, and people really want education. We have too much information, but people always want information anyway.
Okay. So it's worth doing marketing for most research trials.
Yes.
And you can do things, you can hire professionals, you can implement strategies to actually improve the outcome of marketing, the conversion rate of getting patients into trials via marketing. And Senn says that you should do it. So there you go. You should do it.
You should do as much as you can.
Yeah, I agree. It's the hardest thing we do.
You
So
really
you should do as
should.
much as you can to reach those patients and help them get into research trials.
And not just throw money at it. I will add that. Really think outside the box on that too.
Yeah.
You can throw a lot of money at Google Ads and it's good, but there's more about community events, flyers. There's just a lot that could be done, that your entire presence in a community is your marketing. From if people like you, to if people see you at community events, to if they see a billboard, etc. Digital ads, all of it.
Excellent. Okay, good last points. As always, thanks for riding along with us. I wish you the best. Follow us on social media, and I look forward to riding along with you again in the future. Take care.
Bye.